One of the difficult things about going solar is that it can sometimes be hard to understand whether or not you're getting a good deal. So you can sign up with this company, think you're getting a wonderful system, and then a couple months down the road, you find out that that's not the case. So that's why in this video, I'm gonna give you 7 red flags that you absolutely need to know when buying solar for your home so that you can know with confidence that you're making the right decision. And I'm gonna focus on things that aren't so obvious, not just buying used panels, things that might be happening that you're not noticing that if you did notice would save you a lot of pain and money later down the road. So the first thing that you need to look out for is whether or not the panels that you're quoted for are actually a good fit for your home. You see, solar panels come in all shapes and sizes, and it's important to understand the difference between a quality solar panel and just another panel that you could find for sale at Home Depot. Solar panels need to be evaluated on specific criteria, such as how efficient is the panel, how well does this panel fare on the elements, and is this panel a panel that I would find aesthetically pleasing on my home? It's important to work with a solar designer who specifically mentions why he or she recommended that panel for your home and why it would be a better option in regards to the alternative options which that installer might carry. Certain panels fare better in certain weather conditions, and designers need to work on a case-by-case basis to determine which panel would be best for your home. On that note, additionally, it's important to work with a company who uses advanced software to determine where on the roof that those panels would need to go to maximize efficiency. As somebody who's worked in solar design for a while, I can tell you that not all solar design softwares are created equal. It's important to work with a designer who has access to the premium softwares on the market, which can use technologies such as LiDAR shading, irradiance mapping, and tree shading simulations, because without these tools, you might end up with an inefficient system on your roof due to insufficient modeling which your solar designer wasn't able to work with. It's important to make sure that the panel placement on your roof has been optimized for maximum production for your panels, because if not, you could be left with a system that doesn't serve you well. If your solar proposal simply just consists of a bunch of numbers that are kind of going over the long-term savings of your system, well, your solar designer may have missed a critical step when building that system. And as always, guys, if you're in the process of shopping for different solar options for your home and you need to get a quote, or you already have a quote and you just need to get a comparison to see that you're getting a good deal, I myself work in solar design across over 20 states in America. So by clicking the link in the description, you can see whether or not I could work with you, and that's also where you could book a call with myself. This would just be a short 20 or 30-minute call where we would discuss options for your home and then afterwards provide some pricing for you. The third thing that you need to look out for when you're going solar is whether or not you're getting a good quality inverter solution with your system. A solar system will consist of panels which produce direct current electricity and then send that energy into an inverter or multiple inverters to be converted into alternating current, which can be dispersed throughout your home. There is an array of different inverter options offered on the market, and it's important to understand which one will best serve your home. In the early 2000s, as residential solar installations began to grow, the primary inverter solution offered was a string inverter. This essentially took all the power that the panels produced and converted it into usable grid-tied power at the ground level, meaning typically being mounted on the side of your home near the main service panel. Over time, innovations came out such as the power optimizer, which then boosted the performance of the system by mitigating negative shading impacts. Finally, microinverter technology was invented, which took the compatibility of each of these technologies and combined it to fit behind each individual panel. This removed the issues that people were having when their string inverters would fail and the entire system would stop producing. I've gone more into depth on inverters in some other videos that I've put out, but without skipping a beat, I would mention that I primarily recommend to homeowners that they go with microinverters instead of the alternative and slightly cheaper options with the string inverters. You will pay a slight premium for this system, but it is well worth the money. The fourth thing that you need to look out for in your solar quote is whether or not you're actually taking ownership of the system. When the residential solar market began to initially grow, lenders would not finance solar systems, for they were more expensive at the time and the concept was unproven. Therefore, sales companies introduced leases into the market, which they renamed power purchase agreements. In most cases, power purchase agreements will put you into a 20 to 30-year leasing agreement with your solar company and prevent you from claiming your 30% tax credit, as well as prevent you from taking advantage from other benefits that you may get from building equity in the system. These agreements are still being sold on today's market, really due to the lack of education in the industry, which is partially a reason why I put out content. It's therefore important that if you're purchasing a system, you're very clear on the fact that you actually are taking ownership of the system so that you prevent yourself from a bad situation later down the road. Another thing you must really look out for is not fully comprehending the federal tax credit. As of 2022, the solar federal tax credit was extended 10 years at the rate of 30%. This will include a battery backup as well, if that is an option that you choose to look into. It is first important to note that this is a tax credit, not rebate, meaning that you can only get back in credit in a year up to the amount of taxes you've paid that fiscal year. You will be granted 5 years to claim this credit, meaning that if your tax liability does not exceed what your tax credit would be in a single year, you could claim the remaining amount the following year or in years to come. The money that you get back from taxes will go in your pocket, and you are in no regards required to put that back towards the system. If you choose to finance solar and you want to put the tax credit back into the system to pay it off sooner, most lenders will provide that option for you to do so. Additionally, states, counties, and even utility companies will sometimes offer additional credits for going solar, which I would recommend looking into to see if you qualify for. The sixth thing that you need to look out for in your quote is whether or not the system is properly sized to fit your net metering agreement. Net metering is the process of your utility company purchasing the excess power that you push back onto the grid and crediting that money to your account. Since during peak sunlight hours of the day, your system is likely to be producing more energy than you're consuming, that extra energy goes back on the grid, and the utility company then sells it to other homes and credits your account. Why sizing matters is due to the fact that not all providers will purchase that power at the same rate. Certain providers buy power back at what is called a wholesale rate, meaning a smaller price per kilowatt hour than the price that you would pay. This is the case for a lot of homeowners, and in this event, you would simply want the system to be sized a little bit smaller than it would be to offset 100% of your home's power. Therefore, during peak sunlight hours of the day, you're not producing a crazy amount more power than you actually need and pushing it back onto the grid. As always, guys, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I put out these videos so people like yourself can be more informed, and by liking the video, it just helps the video reach more people and spread the word. The seventh and final thing that you need to look out for in your solar quote is understanding that this is not a next week type of deal when going solar. Going solar is ultimately a construction project which involves surveying your roof, coordinating with your utility company for connections, and filing for permitting. To your benefit, your installer will likely take care of this side of the project so that you don't have to put forth any sort of time commitments. Understand that on average, an install should take anywhere from 30 to 60 days, just depending on the complexity of the project. If the project involves backup battery installations, it will be on the longer side due to an additional battery crew needing to come out and help with that installation. After you've been installed, you will have an inspection where a member of your utility company will come out and approve that system to be connected, on which date he or she will turn the inverter on and you start saving money and becoming energy independent. If you've been told that this process can be done in a matter of a couple of weeks, you are in for an unfortunate treat. I hope this video was able to educate you in any way as you look further into going solar for your home. At this point with my YouTube channel, I'm just looking to grow by providing consistent value. So if you found this video valuable, all I would ask is if you could just like the video or subscribe to the channel so these videos could reach more people and more people could see this content. If you have any questions whatsoever, put them down below and I will get back to you. Again, my name is Jack and I will see y'all next time.